How does WSGI help Django connect to web servers? Imagine trying to have a conversation with someone who speaks a different language. You need a translator to make sure your words are understood. That's exactly what WSGI does for Django and web servers. WSGI stands for Web Server Gateway Interface. It is a standard in Python that helps web servers and Django applications talk to each other smoothly. Without it, web servers like Apache or Nginx wouldn't be able to run Django code directly. They need a way to pass requests and responses back and forth. In a Django project, there is a special file called WSGI, Py. Inside this file, Django creates a callable object named application. Think of this application as a bridge or a door that the web server can use to send requests to Django. When a user visits your website, the web server receives their request and then uses this application callable to pass the request to Django. But the web server itself cannot run Python code directly. Instead, it relies on a WSGI server or module, like ModWSGI for Apache or uWSGI. These WSGI servers are like interpreters that understand the WSGI standard. They run the Django application and handle the flow of requests and responses. When a user makes a request, the web server forwards it to the WSGI server, which calls the Django application object. Django then processes the request, figures out what to do, and sends back a response. The WSGI server then passes this response back to the web server, which finally delivers it to the user. This setup separates the job of handling network connections and static files from running Python code. The web server manages connections and static content, while the WSGI server runs Django and handles dynamic content. This division makes it easier to manage and scale your application. Using WSGI also makes Django portable. You can deploy your project on any server that supports WSGI, whether it's Apache, Nginx, or other hosting options. It also allows middleware to be added easily, which can process requests or responses before they reach Django or the client. When setting up a Django project for production, you tell your web server to use the WSGI server and point it to the WSGI Py file. For example, with Apache, you configure ModWSGI to load the application callable. With Nginx, you often pair it with uWSGI to connect to Django. In short, WSGI helps Django connect to web servers by providing a clear, standard way for them to communicate. It creates a bridge that allows web servers to send requests to Django and get responses back, making sure your website runs smoothly and efficiently.